Greetings. This is Skyler Saunders seeing what's current. All right, I'm on the case again. Another sadistic, vicious, horrific monster. This has a better ending. It's not a happy ending. It just has a better ending. He was caught. He was initially sentenced to 430 something years in prison. Then it jumped up to 1,200 years and a death sentence. His name, Mark Godot. He's from Phoenix, Arizona. He is known as the baseline killer. He was previously known as the baseline rapist, and all of his most of his crimes were during a time where there was the baseline killers or the baseline shooters. Thank you, Texas. I see you, Hemp Lord. I see you, Texas. Salute to you both. Salute to you, gentlemen. Go back to Jesus, of course. Go back to Jesus. Go back to Moses. Yeah, go back to Moses. Bald head, scallywag, ain't got no hair in the bag. That's right. Totally bald. Sure, got a baldy. But anyway, so if you have ever heard of this gentleman, you might have. This was like a national story. This was on, like, I think Dateline, or it may have been on 2020, or at least the evening news way back, like 20 years ago, almost like 2005, 2006. Okay, the baseline killer sounds like a DJ name. It sounds crazy, but it's true. But yeah, he terrorized the city for over a year. But prior to that, he was found not guilty. He was released on bail from sexual assaults, and he continued his reign. I'm about to say reign of terror, but his vicious streak, and he just continued that on to the mid 2000s. He tried to cover up his crimes like I'm so glad that we have another stupid criminal. Thank you for stupid criminals. There is no God, but thank God for dumb, silly, dizzy, stupid criminals. He in one instance he tried to hide the DNA from sexually assaulting these two women, and he asked them to spit in their hands and then rub dirt and mud and leaves and wipe it on their breasts. Like it's just really strange, really weird. This guy, and he's in court. I'll show you the video right now. This guy is a special case. All right, so I'll show you right now.
1,200 years behind bars. That's the sentence the convicted baseline killer is carrying on his shoulders tonight after a face-off in court with the judge.
For 10 months, you acted as a terrorist in our community.
I'm an innocent man. I did not commit these crimes.
Tonight, ABC 15's Christopher Sine is going in-depth with the most heated comments from Mark Godot and how the detective in charge of this case is reacting.
In jailhouse stripes and shackles, the man convicted in the baseline killer crimes waited to hear his third sentence in the series of crimes.
I had nothing to do with these crimes.
First, Mark Godot was sentenced to 438 years for raping two sisters, then sentenced to death for murdering 9 people, and now a sentence of 1,200 years. Yes, 1,200 for the rapes and robberies tied to the baseline killer dating back to 2005.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I'm very angry here.
My goal is not to make a parody of today, but simply to impose the sentence you deserve for each of your sneak attacks on folks.
In an exclusive interview with me, Godot's wife, Wendy Carr, said police have the wrong man. In court, she told the judge he was framed.
Surely the real suspect would not or could not appear normally day to day and be able to maintain a job and a marriage.
They found the scapegoat in my neighborhood, and they planted evidence on me.
The prosecutor spoke publicly for the first time. With victims' families nearby, she said they motivated her.
You know what, Chris, honestly, this isn't about me. This is about them. This man terrorized and victimized so many people that it's been my privilege to represent them.
Alex Famia was the lead detective during the crimes.
And that's why we do our jobs for the victims. It's a big sigh of relief.
With an appeal already underway, County Attorney Bill Montgomery lashed out at the convicted killer.
If he were to spend 1,000 years in hell, it wouldn't begin to alleviate the suffering.
Christopher Sign, ABC 15 News.
All right. See, that's what we're dealing with. This guy, adamant, angry, aggressive, standing on no business, standing on no reality, no truth, just wants to escape, his inevitable downfall, and is living behind bars as long as he, until his death sentence. Because that's what I asked that of my hold on one second. I asked that of my social studies teacher when I was in the 7th grade, I think. I was like, why did they give, criminals 1,000 years, 2,000 years, stuff like that? From what I understood, from what he said that is to prevent them from having any opportunities for parole. And even if they did have opportunities for parole, it would be knocked down to maybe 800 years or, 700 years. So it still wouldn't even make a difference how many times they even appealed or something like that. So that makes sense to me now. So that, he committed murder at least 9 times. He was found guilty of those 9 murders. He was convicted of them. And now he is, trying to, show that he was some, regular guy. They said he was meticulous about his lawn. They said he was quiet. This is classic. This is textbook. His childhood is textbook. His mother died of a stroke when he was just a youngster. He was like 11 years old, something, of 11 kids. So that was a definite effect on his mentality. No excuse. However, the 10 other kids didn't become, serial killers. So it's no excuse whatsoever. I think that we have the baseline killer as somebody who is, terrified of his own self. He was such a little boy. He didn't grow up. And I'm not trying to, cape for him. I'm just saying that's the fact. That's just the reality. That's just the psychological reality. And he had to find some way, which was the wrong way. There's that divergent path. We can do creative, or we can be destructive. He chose destructive, and he's paying for it now for over 1,000 years and a death sentence. So I think with with the baseline killer, with Mark Godot, we have, somebody that, tried to be, somebody that was, a good neighbor and a good person. And even his significant other, that's a ride or die. No matter what, that's a ride or die. She was caping for him. She's saying, how could he possibly have a work and lead a marriage and, have all this if he was going out committing these crimes? And the judge just looked at her like, don't care. Because the best thing is 2 things. Forensics. Well, I think forensics is covered under something, but DNA and ballistics and DNA. I mean, you just can't, there's no equivocating. There's no questioning. There's no, well, maybe this, maybe that, kind of, sort of. No, it's like they took, at first the police bungled the DNA. Then they went and took the DNA and from the various crime scenes and took it to a better lab, the Arizona State lab, and they found a match on each one of the murders. Every murder was attached to Godot. So, that's cute. Like, it's weird. It's a strange thing. He pleaded not guilty. How you going? How do you form your lips? How do you form your legal staff to say, yeah, I'm not guilty. Yeah, I'm not guilty. I mean, it's just a delulu way of looking at things. It's completely delulu. He's out of his mind. He has no recollection of reason, and it shows. It showed. And this is all, again, before 2011. I have not yet found too many serial killers after 2011, especially not black ones. They're rare. They're rare, but there are some. That's what this whole series is about: bringing light and shining it on the fact that there are black serial killers, and that the families of the victims should be elevated and let them be known through each of these posts. So I think with Godot, Mark Godot, I mean, he's just another prime example of a stupid criminal. Very stupid. He's not bright. He's not that bright. He would have definitely taken upon himself to be more courageous, more thoughtful, more, I don't know, rational, more moral, just simple human decency. Just if he just possessed that, he wouldn't be behind bars for 1,200 years or waiting on death row for his execution date, and which could be any day now. That was like 2000. What was it? 2005, 2006, and in 2007, and it went into 2011, I think. So that's gonna be like 12 years. So, or 13 or 14 years now. Now it's gonna be 14 years. It's gonna be 15 years next year, from 2011. So I don't know. It's just it really pains me because I'm looking at these cases. I'm like, these are so minute. They're so small. This is not a regular occurrence. There is no God, but thank God that this is not a regular occurrence. Serial killers, even back in the 60s and 70s and 80s and 90s, when they were at their quote unquote heyday, Son of Sun 90 comes in. This is what he says. Everybody listen to this. Everybody pay attention. He says this. Scott, go back to topics we care about. Son of Sun 90, start your own channel. Start your own channel. That's the best way to solve that problem, right? You care about a subject, you go and start your own channel. Simple as that. Very simple, not hard. I'll probably watch it. I might even donate to it. But I'm going to do the specific issues that, I care about. I care about black serial killers, African-American serial killers in America, and especially in America. That's why it's called African-American serial killers, not black serial killers. That can be anywhere in the world. You're known as black just because of the pigment and the melanin in your skin. So Mark Godot, he has this track record. I mean, that's the thing too, because they linked his early track record. Well, that's what I'm saying. You don't have the time, then you got to find the time. Make sure right before you go to sleep or something like that. Make sure you get a few get a half. If you don't give an hour show, give a half-hour show. Give a 15-minute show. Do a clip. Do a TikTok. Do a TikTok show. I think they're like 10 minutes or something like that. And I'm not your brother, but I like the way that you say brother because you think it's gonna rile me up or something like that. But that's cute. But that is the reality. It's not a common occurrence. There are very few serial killers in human history. There might be maybe 200 to 1,000 serial killers ever in human history. Maybe. I mean, if that might be a stretch, but there's not that many. There's not that many. So that's a good thing. And that's human history. That's going back to the days of no cameras, no drones, no DNA analysis, no forensics analysis, no ballistics, nothing like that. But these victims, it was primarily women, and it was one guy. One guy was killed because he was essentially a driver. He got his block knocked off. He shot him in the head. He shot a lot of his victims in the head. They're all headshots. I think every one of his victims were headshots. I don't think he strangled anybody. From what I understand, I don't think he had any strangulation. All of his misdeeds revolved around a firearm, a handheld firearm. So that's just the reality of it. That's the truth. Very sad, but very, the idea of justice being served. I mean, that's the best they can do. You can't do anything. You can't, stand them up in front of the courtroom and shoot them up. You can't. And even what would that do? I mean, that'd just be horrific. So set him down. Minimize his abilities. Immobilize him in a sense. Treat him like an animal. You got to get up at this time. You got to feed, we feed you at this time. You have a little bit of time for exercise, and you got to go back to your rack. And that's it. That's the rest of your days for the rest of your life. Because you've earned it. You've earned that. You've earned that reality. So live with it. All right. Saunders says, are we watching a serial killer in the making? This topic is all over the place because when you join, you don't know what the hell are you talking about. I don't think that's proper grammar, first of all, Saunders, but thank you anyway. I appreciate that. Thanks for that. Appreciate it. So Mark Godot is a parasite on, or I guess he still is a parasite on society. He's a parasite. He's living off of the government right now. He was definitely a parasite, living off of other humans' lives, stealing their lives from them. They didn't lose their lives were stolen. Saunders, thank you for the hate. I appreciate it. Thank you. It will not be happening, but I appreciate you. I'm not even going to give you the satisfaction of repeating what you just wrote. It will not be on the rebroadcast, so enjoy that. So be very happy that you were able to write that, and that you didn't even put a question mark at the end. Further lets me know that you don't know what the hell you were talking about. So I think with the Godot case, I mean, he is Godot. He just presented himself to be the worst of the worst, a terrible human being, waste of space, waste of human flesh. He's completely, torn away from reality, torn away from truth, torn away from everything that makes up a man, a human being, and a man. He has no virtues. He has no principles. He has none of that. YouTube subscriber, here we go. African-American serial pussy. Salute to you, sir. All we need is 5 more people when we got a party. Let's keep this party going. Let's go. Let's do this. So, so very, very delicate subject, because of the victims' families. They just went through hell, and they're still going through hell. It never stops. It's not like, well, there's a day that goes by that I don't miss her. I don't miss him. It's not even true. We have a lot of different topics, from Glorilla going to jail to multiple deaths. I'll speak on Glorilla really quick. So sad that she had a burglary in her house, and that led to her arrest. I mean, come on. What does that say? What does that say? Bumba's being sarcastic. He says, a serial killer has no morals? No way. I like your sarcasm, sir. But you would say, no, because the reason why I say that serial killers have no morals is because it's like anybody. The reality. People don't expect people to have the same morals as I. I have very different morals. I have morals that are related to selfishness. And they would say that serial killers and people that are murderers and people that are criminals are selfish. They're obviously not, because all it ends is usually in blood and years in prison and death and destruction and terror and the horrendous nature you do to your mind when you don't have those morals in place. That's what I'm talking about. So that's why I say the obvious, but it's not that obvious. What is? I think Ayn Rand said that. She said the most obvious thing is usually not made obvious. I'm paraphrasing. I pretty much mangled that, but the clearest thing, the thing that is in clearest view, is often obscured behind nonsense. So thank you, Bumba. I appreciate it. 6. All we need is 4 more. 4 more. We got a party on a Friday. Y'all aren't going out for a party tonight. I guess y'all ain't going out to the gig, to the jam, to the what we used to call bump. Yeah. So it's haunting. Really, it's haunting to understand some of these cases, and then we have to look at the idea of defund the police. Okay, the police are just I don't want to disrespect them and say that they're the middlemen, but they're the in between. They're literally the in between for the court system, the law enforcement, and then court system. Thank you, Saunders. I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. Thank you, or ma'am. I don't know. I think it's a ma'am. It sounds like a female to me. It sounds like a female the way she's going on. Hey, girl. Yeah. So I just don't get it. I just don't get how people don't see how the system of virtues and principles and ethics. It seems like they just fly out the window when they say, defund the police, defund the police. Really? Defund the police. There's nobody there to get. There's no judges. Judges and lawyers aren't the ones that are apprehending these people. They have to have somebody that has to be a go-between. That's law enforcement, to go and find and prosecute, to not prosecute, but to prohibit further crimes. It's not like Minority Report. If I'm spoiling it for you, excuse me. But that was an interesting movie, but an interesting book. I've never read it, but I've seen the movie about these specific people that could predict crimes before they happened. I thought that's interesting, but that's not what is possible. There's no predicting crimes. You can't do it. So they can only go by what already happened. Will this be the whole show? Yup. Or will we get a second half with a different topic? Nope, same show. Whole show, sir. Whole show. Back to 6. So we can get up to 7. Let's go up to 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 1,000, 20 million, 33 billion. That's not possible, but Smart Goodo. Vehement. Fierce. Almost unstable. I'm very angry. Okay, be angry. There's no one else. There was no one else that could claim what you did. Nobody else. DNA and ballistics proved it. Proved beyond all shadow of doubt. DNA and forensics and ballistics. That's all you need. That's evidence. That's proof. Shows you in real time what it is. And it gets better and better every year. They find new ways of discovering it. They find new ways of working with it. This goes back to the 19th century. I think it was the first ones that it was either 18th century or the 19th century. I don't remember, but they started the fingerprinting. That's the prints. They dusted for prints. They still do that, in crimes, but it's really about the DNA. That's what it's about. No, you cannot call in, Saunders. No, you cannot. No, you can't, ma'am. No, ma'am, you can't. Go find it. Go on to YouTube, Saunders. Go on YouTube. But yeah, so you got my number. Great. Put it up. I don't care. Dox me. I put it up on the internet before. Doesn't faze me. I got your number. Whoever this lady is, she's trying to be cute. I don't know. I got your number. Well, you got my number. Great. So does anybody that goes onto a site to search for people's information. You can get their phone number. It's not that hard. It's very easy. You're not special. I got your number. So does Bumba, and so does Son to Sun 90. So does YouTube subscriber. So does Texas. So does Hemp Lord. They all got my number. Yes, there you go. 302. Yeah, put it all in. Put it all in. Don't stop. 373. Yup. Keep going. Don't stop. That's it. That's it. Thank you. You can find that on the internet. Anywhere you can find it. I think it's Anywho. There's Anywho. There's search. There's a lot. There's a few different places you can find somebody's phone number. I'll pick up. But yeah, that's great. We don't dox people, Saunders. No, we do dox. Please dox. Give my address, give my phone number, do it all. Don't stop Bumba. Don't stop her. Don't stop that lady. I'm lifting up her dress. He said, wow. Son 90 even said, wow. Yeah, that's my number though. Good job. Let's hear for her. Let's hear for her. Sky calling the 12. I'm on it right now. Woo! Yes, dispatch. I'm calling 50 right now. Mark Godot, I mean, just another piece of trash, just garbage, just a piece of just excrement. I mean, he's low. He's lower than a dog. He's lower than anything. He's worse than any animal, even though he subjected himself to be part of the animal kingdom when he started doing these crimes. And that's the interesting thing that always gets me. Not guilty. So that's a very scary, way of looking at things. You say you plead not guilty, knowing that all the evidence is stacked against you in every single way. He still pled not guilty. That just baffles me. But I think I understand it. Ever heard of Mr. Cruel? Who is Mr. Cruel? Is that a black serial killer? Let me look that up. Hold on. Mr. Cruel. The short answer is no, I've never heard of Mr. Cruel. Wow, he's never been caught. It says Mr. Cruel is the moniker for an unidentified Australian serial child rapist, who attacked 3 girls in the northern and eastern suburbs of Melbourne in the late 1980s and early 1990s. He is also the prime suspect in the 1991 abduction and murder of a 4th girl, Carmen Chan. Wow, I never even heard of this person before. But thank you, Bumba. Salute to Bumba, as always. Bumba, knows how to do it. Hold on. Again.
Behind bars. That's the sentence the convicted baseline killer is carrying on his shoulders tonight after a face-off in court with the judge.
For 10 months, you acted as a terrorist in our community.
I'm an innocent man. I did not commit these crimes.
Tonight, ABC 15's Christopher Sign is going in depth with the most heated comments from Mark Godot and how the detective in charge of this case is reacting.
In jailhouse stripes and shackles, the man convicted in the Baseline killer crimes waited to hear his third sentence in the series of crimes.
I had nothing to do with these crimes.
First, Mark Godot was sentenced to 438 years for raping 2 sisters, then sentenced to death for murdering 9 people, and now a sentence of 1,200 years. Yes, 1,200 for the rapes and robberies tied to the Baseline killer dating back to 2005.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. I'm very angry here.
My goal is not to make a parody of today, but simply to impose the sentence you deserve for each of your sneak attacks on folks.
In an exclusive interview with me, Godot's wife, Wendy Carr, said police have the wrong man. In court, she told the judge he was framed.
Surely the real suspect would not or could not appear normally day to day and be able to maintain a job and a marriage.
They found the scapegoat in my neighborhood, and they planted evidence on me.
The prosecutor spoke publicly for the first time. With victims' families nearby, she said they motivated her.
You know what, Chris, honestly, this isn't about me. This is about them. This man terrorized and victimized so many people that it's been my privilege to represent them.
Alex Familla was the lead detective during the crimes.
And that's what we do our jobs for the victims. It's a big sigh of relief.
With an appeal already underway, County Attorney Bill Montgomery lashed out at the convicted killer.
If he were to spend 1,000 years in hell, it wouldn't begin to alleviate the suffering.
Christopher Sign, ABC 15 News.
Sky, chill, my guy. Okay, lady, whatever you say. I didn't know where that goes, but anyway. Yeah, he wore a creepy mask. I mean, well, thanks for showing it. Bumba, you're on it. I'm not covering Australia, but I'll be covering the Americas and black serial killers, though. And to answer your question, Sun 90, it could be 500 parts if I find 500 people. It's going to be as many parts as I can find news clips for. If I can't find a news clip for them, then I'm not going to do it. But if there's a news clip for them, I'm definitely doing it. So it is, you know, it is a weird thing when you have somebody like Godot, so defiant and so almost, you know, stamping his feet and saying, "I did not commit these crimes." Really, really, my nigga, really? Who did then? Tell me who did. I'll wait. Tell me who committed these crimes. Oh no, you leaving all this money on the floor to chase your tail on the topic Star gave to you. Yeah. It's not a problem to me. I still get paid. I got paid today. Tax-free money. So I'm not hurting. I have enough space and time to make money. I just have fun on here. It's not fun, you know, doing this. It's interesting. It's you know, it's engaging. I wouldn't call it necessarily fun to do this series. How much? Was it $988? I think something like that. You get a how much? You get a Sun 90 spreading out his words. YouTube check. I don't get YouTube checks. I only get Cash App and Venmo and PayPal. That's all I get. I don't get any YouTube. Nothing YouTube. I'm not eligible yet. I have to get 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours in order to qualify for the to be eligible for the sharing program, the revenue sharing program. So I made thousands of dollars off of Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. I made thousands of dollars off of vocal.media. Let me put that up real quick. Hold up. That's my vocal.media site. Oh, so the 9 was the pill check. Yeah. That's true. I owe millions. That's that. You have to look deep into those videos. I might do a quick video about Unforgivable. They have a story. One of the guys, there's a black kid and a white kid, and they got together and they did like the videos, and went super viral like in 2008, 2009, and it was just hilarious. When I first saw it, I thought I was gonna bust a gut when I looked at them, because they're just so freaking hilarious. But there's an underlying intellectuality to all those clips, or most of them. He talks about David Lean. He talks about Marion Bartoli. He talks about Plato's Republic. Like you have to really pay attention to this stuff. You have to really do that. Speedy, whoever Speedy is, welcome to the Skyler Saunders Sing. Yeah, he unalive himself a couple years ago. Yeah, that's true. Very sad. There's 3 main documentaries on YouTube that I find interesting. The first is, of course, Unforgivable that we're talking about. The second is Eli Porter, and he said I did it when he's doing the battle rap. He looked like a Rosie O'Donnell at a bisexual bridal shower or something. He said it was so crazy. There's a documentary on that. There's the third one is a documentary on the worst singing of Oh Holy Night. You gotta look that up, or like around if you want to, you can look it up now, but you can look it up anytime. But it's about Christmas, and this guy's terrible singing, like horrific singing. He just botches the whole song. The obscure references, exactly. The very obscure references. Yeah, you have to really. Woody Allen, he talks about it's just you wouldn't catch it if you didn't know it, and that's what I think is part of the charm too. And it's just over the top, very it's like the what's it called, that joke. It's like the what is that joke? The fly. It's like something's. The Aristocrats. It's like the Aristocrats. It just keeps building on each other, on it, more disgusting and nasty and hilarious and funny and creepy and weird. Yeah, they were filmers. They were definitely filmers. They had their own shorts on YouTube that were pretty, well produced for what they had. And, they only had a one camera, I think, or 2 cameras, and some editing software. But yeah. But anyway, Godot, Mark Godot, he stood for being very, like I said, he wanted to show himself to be a model citizen, but that obviously fell apart. That completely collapsed, and that's textbook, Everybody says, "Oh, he was such a good guy. He just liked to take care of his lawn. He was such a good guy. Nothing was wrong with him. I didn't see anything wrong with him. He was all right." It's obvious. That's like the best kind. He's not going to be out in the street, with a face mask, with a hockey mask on and a knife in his hand, walking down the street looking for little girls to slice up and to bludgeon. No, he's going to be the sweet guy. Just, hey, how you doing? I'm just cutting my grass. Then I'm going to go out and molest or sexually assault and murder people. He's not going to do that. He's obviously just going to be like, I'm just cutting the grass, and just like a regular guy. There's a British documentary I watched today. It was about the Godot case, and they had a British bloke. He said he was just an everyday, everyday chap. He called him a chap. Everyday, he was an everyday chap. That was a terrible impression, by the way. But anyway, Bumble, you look like you're the only one in here. It was up to 6. I don't know. Everybody seemed to jump ship. I was waiting for the call. I was going to answer it, but y'all can call me if y'all want. It won't be on the air, or maybe I might put it on the air. But like I said, that's cute. I like when people say, "I have your address. I know your phone number. So you do. So do millions of other people. All you have to do is put in I have my first and last name. I give you where I live, Newark, Delaware. So come on. I mean, do what you got to do. Be cute. Just come in peace or leave in pieces. That's all I got to say. Anyway, Mark Godot. Mark Godot is the subject of this particular series, this particular installment of the series. He has committed these heinous, horrific crimes and denied them. Had the gall, not the cojones, but just the gall to say that he didn't do these things when everything is stacked against him. When you can't fight DNA. You can't fight this for the most part. I mean, you might be able to fight forensics, ballistics. I mean, but for forensics, for DNA, Dana's not gonna lose. She's like the undefeated heavyweight champ of the world for real. You can't beat Dana. Dana's the truth. I love Dana. He thought he could get off. He thought he had. I'm really angry, Your Honor. I'm really angry. Well, so were the families. So are the people that love them, the victims that their loved ones. They were very angry at some point. Then I hope they don't forgive him. That's the worst thing. That is like the horrific time when they say, I know he committed these crimes, but we forgive him. We're that's that Christianity stuff. That's that really, I'm totally against that. I can completely disregard that. When you're just that altruistic, when you say that, you forgive somebody for brutalizing and victimizing your loved one and you forgive them, that's like saying they had sanction to do it. That's like saying they should have done it. It's like saying, okay, you did that and go find some more people, more victims so they can say you're sorry. That's why I love the justice system. Justice system doesn't say sorry all the time. It does sometimes. There are certain circumstances where the justice system says, oh, we got that wrong. Sorry about that. We got to let you go. Here's $10,000. Here's $10 million. I don't know. There's all kinds of different figures for different crimes and how much time was served and different things like that. So it's kind of interesting. But that's another thing Dana does. Dana is that double-edged sword. Dana get you out of prison or put you in prison or put you on death row. Put you in line for the chair or the table. But this is very, very pressing stuff. This is some very heavy, hard to take kind of things that, are going on right now that people don't understand. And I think it's like, that's the reason why I'm doing this. Another reason why I'm doing this is because, people don't want to, I don't want to talk about that. Sweep it under the rug instead of bringing, that cliche, sunshine is the best disinfectant, bring it to light. And it cleans out all the cobwebs. It cleans out all the dust and dirt and grime. Don't forgive. That's right. God forgives. I don't. But that's true. I mean, there is no God, but I know the sentiment. Most people do believe in some kind of God or deity or deities, and they would say that they're not going to forgive, but maybe this deity will. Yeah, don't forgive. Don't forgive. That's one thing you don't do. That's as a moral imperative. You don't forgive those who have done wrong. If it is an irredeemable evil, and he has obviously, committed irredeemable evils time and again. He has definitely committed irredeemable evils. If it's redeemable, you can say, look, Don't ever do it again. It's not that serious. It's not that heavy. You might have, stole candy from the candy store or something like that. That's It's redeemable. It's not that. It's not like grand larceny. You didn't take somebody's car or something like that. You didn't burglarize someone's house. Understood. Redeemable. That's fine. Don't ever do it again. Don't let me catch you doing this again. That's usually a child's thing. I mean, this is me back in the day. I used to steal the little caps off the where you put the air on your tires. I used to steal those little caps. And if it wasn't for my mom, I'd probably still be doing time right now, because like that's also textbook. There's a progression. It's like when you start small, you start, doing little things. I remember burning things. I remember wrecking shopping carts. I remember yelling expletives in different businesses and stuff like that. If I had not been caught every time, either by the people that were I was never caught stealing, except by my mom. But I never was caught by the people I was stealing from. But I was caught for yelling obscenities. I was caught for wrecking with this big cinder block. I was dumping a cinder block on this shopping cart. I was just doing dumb, stupid, silly stuff. Well, that's kind of a mixed thing. Bumba, Ozzy is on the Highway to Hell. That's actually AC/DC, Highway to Hell. Thank you, Saunders. Thank you, lady. I appreciate it, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, lady. I appreciate it. Forever, my lady. This is Miss Saunders. Ozzy's on the Highway to Hell. Oh, I know. I just wanted to make sure. Because a lot of people will be confused. Like, what? I thought AC/DC made that song. They did. Yeah, I'm going to hell too. I can't wait. I mean, what is hell? What is heaven? What is hell? Let's talk about that. We can talk about that. I mean, we can talk about Godot. If you want to talk about Godot, we can talk about Godot. But I just want to say about heaven and hell. I mean, there was a cartoon of Hulk Hogan going into heaven, or the idea of heaven, and he was stopped. I'm SkySaunders, and welcome to Jackass. Let's talk about Hollywood Hulk Hogan. I'm just going to talk about him for a brief moment. They had a cartoon of a black God or Jesus or something like that, and these black angels, and they're saying how he couldn't get into heaven. He's like, I thought the brother wasn't a brother or something like that. I think at the end. So I mean, like, there's a God. He's wearing a cloak. Who makes the cloaks? What are these chorus of angels? How do they get their cloaks? Are there tables in heaven? It's so arbitrary. It's so ridiculous. When you finally shuffle off the cord, or the various mental chains, you're like, why was I even believing in that? Why did I even think for a moment that could be true? I mean, it's just not. And how they are bashing him. Okay, I'm getting drunk off real American beer. What do you got? Pabst Blue Ribbon, Bumba out of a can. Let's make it sure. 988, and it wasn't God. It was by my time in the service. That's what got me my 988 today. I get 3,500, close to 3,500, at the end of the month. So it's close to $5,000 a month. So tax free, not bad. Don't got to pay a mortgage. Don't got a wife and kids. I'm living the high life. To me, I'm living a great life. Hulk has a beer brand. Oh, called Real American Beer. I'm like, oh my God. Okay. Bumba drinking cat piss. I think he's just kidding, Sun 90, because he was just saying how Hulk has that real American beer. Sun drinking pussy juice. Uh-oh, now they're going back and forth. Let me step away. Oh man. But Mark Godot was defiant. He was just sick. Oh my God. And you still living at home, and you can get a 1-bedroom. And that's true, but my dad is my caregiver, so he monitors my drug intake and whether I'm, stable or not, whatever the case may be. He monitors all of that, so it makes sense. And there's a caregiver program, and you have to have somebody in the home. From what I understand, it could be out in the community, but from what I understand, it just makes more sense. Even if it was, I did go out in the community, he would have to go and get in a car, drive all the way over to my place. He does not. I do all that. There's no conservatorship over here. Son of Son 90 asks, does he monitor the money? No, he does not. He does not. Does he get paid for it? Yes, he does. For being a caregiver. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Yes. He's asking, does he get paid for it? And he says, okay. Yeah, so isn't Star your dad? Oh, that was cute, Bumba. That was cute. He's my business associate. He's not my friend. He's not my buddy. He's not my pal. He's my business associate. He gives me ideas. My dumbass, like you'll see my black and gold, no frills looking banner right now. I'm trying to get a new one, but hold up. Man, you better go get you a woman, not a woman, a women. Possibly. I mean, once I'm on the market, I hook them. I don't really strike it. It's not like a thing like, damn, I missed that one. Damn, I missed that. It was like, bam, she's slipping me her number. You know what I mean? It's like I'm like asking her. I don't have to give super game. Not trying to say I'm some type of Don Juan, but I'm telling you the truth. Just based on I don't get on this microphone, get on this video stage, and just tell y'all, yeah, man, I smashed like 20 girls in one night. It was crazy. Nah, I'm never gonna do that. I only smashed one girl, one woman, not one girl, but one woman in my entire life. That's facts. So, Son to Son 90 says, stop playing with them boys, Scott. I've never had an inkling for that. I don't take that lightly because there are, really PDF files, as people love to say nowadays. And that's a weird and sad thing. That's a sad thing because to be a lover of children literally is a pedophile. You love children. But the usage of the term has been so sullied that you can't use that term in the same context anymore. You have to use it something else. You just have to spell out the word, I love children. That's fine. You can't be specific. You can't say I love 7-year-olds. That's a joke. That was from oh my God, what's his name? I can't think of his name, but there was a comedian who said that. Sky lost his virginity to his house cat. I never lost my virginity because I never had it. You can't lose something you never had. Only women are virgins. Do they ever say the virgin Jesus? Jesus was a virgin. They say Virgin Mary, just to give you a scope of things. Trump is one, maybe. I mean, I'm not going to say it on my platform. That's Bumba. The views expressed by Bumba and the rest of the people in the live chat do not reflect those of SkySaunders and any of its affiliates. Viewer discretion is advised. I've gained sexual experience. That's what I gained. I did not lose a damn thing. Just to make it clear, just to clarify. Hear me clearly, and y'all niggas feel me. I want to go back. I want to go back to Mark Godot. Mark Godot is a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad person. And he's served. I just love the justice. He's serving a 1,200-year sentence. From what I understand, they give him 1,200 years and a death penalty because they said, "Oh, we'll give him 200 years or 50 years or 25 years, 25 to life." They said, "Okay, we can appeal. We can knock that down." Now it's 60 years. Okay, now it's 40. Now it's 20. He'll be out in 15 years, and like that wouldn't work. So they put him on for the sexual assault cases 438 years. Then the murders, that was 1,200. That was the death penalty. Then they made sure that he would stay in prison by giving him 1,200 years. So and I'm just like in awe of the fact that the justice system still works in some cases. That's is not completely broken. That there are still law courts that adjudicate and ensure that the public is well served and deserve to be cared at. The law enforcement officials put in the work to provide some sense of safety and quality of life, because we just want to trick off. That's what Diddy wanted to do. He's not going to prison for the tricking off, for the freak offs. He just wanted to have a good time. That man, you know how much business that man has to do? You know how many accountants he has, how many tax officials, how many official lawyers and everything. It's a headache. I'm not trying to excuse his crimes, but I'm excusing his other crimes, the ones he was convicted of. The prostitution. That's nothing. Prostitution should be legal. Now I know prostitution is not legal right now, right as we speak, and he should be going to get sentenced for whatever it is. However, this man had so many businesses. He may have been a sex fiend. He could have been a sex addict. Could possibly that. But all I'm saying is, it's like he's no Mark Godot. He's not a murderer. He's not a sexual assault. Allegedly, I mean, he wasn't convicted. He wasn't convicted of sexual assault. He's just convicted of the prostitution charges. So that's what we have to really discover and show that there should be only 3 elements of the government: police, law courts, and military. And in those agencies, their sole role is to protect individual rights. None of these criminals who go to prison, they lose their right to the pursuit of happiness and their liberty. Their liberty and their pursuit of happiness. They lose those. They have life. They have the right to their life. That's about it. They have the right to their life and to be safe in the confines of a jail cell. But that's it. They don't get many more favors. They don't get any special. Not all the time. I mean, some places there are conjugal visits and stuff like that. But for the most part, they're living a hellish life. I mean, it's a terrible life, especially in America. The irony, kids. We have the highest population of criminals incarcerated in the world, in the entire world. Boma says, I don't half-step because I'm not a half-stepper. Drink a lot of soda, as they call me, Dr. Pepper. Who said that? Star's still on vacation with Rory. That was hateful. Thanks for that hate. Yeah, who said that? I don't even... Just Bumba, just say who said that. Real quick. I don't half-step because I'm not a half-stepper. Drink a lot of soda, so they call me Dr. Pepper. Ain't no half-stepping. All right. Mark Godot. I'm going to finish up with this guy. Oh, Tribe Called Quest. Okay, got you. Just a monster. He said, I'm not a monster. I'm not a monster. Of course, you're going to say that. Who's not going to say they're not a monster? I want to see on footage. I want to see somebody say, yes, it was me. I killed her. I chopped off her head. Like in the room, I think Jeffrey Dahmer was one of them. He is very cool, very sedate, very relaxed, and said that's when the cannibalism started. Like, this guy really just, whew. But not Godot. No, I'm very angry, Your Honor. I'm very angry. I did not do these crimes. Okay, we'll see about it. Do we have to show the DNA evidence again? Do we have to show the ballistics? We have to go over that again? I thought it was pretty clear. So for Godot and his ilk, his lower levels, when the sister got in down, yeah, I hate you, Jeffrey. I hate you, Jeffrey. She was yelling and screaming. Yeah, she went off. She was going crazy. I hate you, Jeffrey. So, in conclusion, not recently, Son of Sun 90, no. But in conclusion, Marco, you deserve to be in the place where you are right now. You're a lowlife. You're a loser, and you deserve everything that's bad for you. Despite your white woman who was your ride or die, she went up to bat for you and everything, knowing damn well he committed all these crimes. She was saying, how could he have much time if he was working, if he was in a marriage? Come on now. Anyway, just so glad the justice system still works. That's all I'm going to say. Hey, tomorrow, probably going to be on serial killer number 12. I'll see you probably in the afternoon, maybe late evening or early evening. I'm not sure, but we'll see about it. Thank you very much for tuning in, and take care.